If you like watching and collecting VHS and you own a VCR, then you need to listen to this video. Most people don't understand how VCR heads work or what they even are. Almost every day I get tagged in a social media post about Moldy VHS for the obvious reason. And somewhere in that conversation, someone will say, don't worry about it. Mold's not going to hurt your VCR. Blow it out with the canned air. Run it through a rewinder. Not a big deal. It is a big deal. And let me show you why. Now, this is my personal VCR. I needed to clean my VCR heads today, and I decided to make this video because so many people have a misunderstanding of the inside of your VCR and how it works. I had an argument, sort of debate with the guy the other day because I always say and explain in my videos and in my literature that VCR heads are tiny electronic components, and someone was saying, no, it's a big round object. It's not tiny. Guys, what you're seeing right here is called a VCR head assembly, also known as a head drum. The part that is a VCR head and that matters and what gets cleaned, it's this tiny little, there's a tiny little piece right here. There's a slot, and there is a tiny little set of electronics. And this is where we come up with 4 head, 6 head, 8 head. If you look, you'll see I have 1, 2 of those right here, and then on the other side I have another 1, 2, because this is a 4 head VCR. Now, the reason this matters is because within that slot, within that opening, is a tiny piece of electronics that is on average 25 to 30 microns for standard heads. Some specialized heads even get down to 19 to 21 microns. For those that don't know micron math, that's about 1/50th of a human hair. So when we talk about mold, spores, or clumps of mold, or even specks of mold, I mean, we visibly see mold on tape. So we know that a small speck or clump, we know what size it is. And if it gets on or in this gap right here between this head and your tape, it's going to cause playback issues. Even general oxidation will cause playback issues. Now, I don't clean my heads with cleaning tapes. For those of you that don't feel comfortable owning a VCR, taking apart a VCR, cleaning tapes are your best option. However, I personally like to use a piece of a Post-it note or a piece of cleaning printing paper. The reason I use paper is because there's no fibers. You don't want to use a cotton swab. You don't want to use a Q-tip. You don't want to use any kind of cloth or material that could have a strand that would pull off and catch on this, because again, you're introducing contamination into the environment between the cleaning head and the tape, and it's going to cause playback issues. So I use 99% isopropyl. I take that and I will put it on my Post-it note, and then I will just hold it right here, and I will just spin my head drum. Now, what that's doing is that isopropyl is cleaning the oxidation, any dirt, dust, mold spores, whatever it might be. You're not going to find mold spores in mine, but whatever might be on there is cleaning that off. And then when I'm done, those heads, again, the tiny little electronic components that are microns in size, will be clean and allow you to properly clean your tape again. Sorry, I said clean your tape again, but obviously I meant watch your tape again. So the reason this is so important is because there's this huge misconception that, I'm just trying to sell cleaners, or, we're just out here promoting this false philosophy of cleaning your VHS tapes, your moldy VHS tapes, before you put them in your VCR. But people do not even understand the basics of a VCR. And the reality is they're not making new VCRs. It's very hard to find a replacement head. And even if you do, having the understanding or knowledge on how to swap it out or finding someone to do it is near impossible. So, guys, we have to protect these instruments. It's fun to look at VHS. It's cool to see the cover art, but ultimately we want to watch our movies, and we have to have these, we have to have this equipment to do that. So that's why we clean our tapes, is so that we can put them in there, feel comfortable playing them, testing them, digitizing them, whatever we're doing. That's the reason we want to get the mold off of our tapes, out of the shells, off of the reels, so that we're not introducing any kind of contaminants into that tiny little micron size 1/50th of a hair size head and causing playback issues. Guys, I hope this helped. If you see anybody trying to argue the point or making one of these false claims, point them to this video, and hopefully this will help them understand better why it's important that we keep our VCRs in good working condition by not introducing mold and other contaminants into the environment and the playback head. Thanks, guys. Remember, life is short, so just press play.